Hello everyone, thank you for stopping by my channel, Springing Art. I'm Becky and I want to talk about Akua Intaglio Inks today. I've been doing a lot of gel printing, and one of the problems that I have is when I use regular acrylic paints, and this is a Mead acrylic paint that I'm putting on the gel plate right now. When I try to put these on in a thin layer, they dry very quickly. So everything that I'm showing you is at real time. I'm not speeding up or slowing down anything. If I chop out a section because I've just decided to wander away from the gel plate for a while, I'll try to let you know that. So I hope you pay attention to approximately how much time that took to lay down the paint and then to put the paper on top of it. We're going to pull it off, and you're going to see that most of the paint didn't pull up, and it didn't pull up because it had already dried. So that's been a problem I've been facing, and there's a variety of solutions, but I went to a jelly printing class, and the instructor used Akua Intaglio Inks by Speedball. These inks are soy based, but they're oily, but they're soap and water cleanup. So they're really easy to deal with, just like acrylic inks. They do not dry on the plate. I have literally gone away to dinner, come back, and the plate is still just fine. I can go ahead and pull my print. They don't dry, they don't evaporate. The way they dry is by absorbing into paper or some other absorbent medium. So this has several different implications. It means that if you're going to be doing multiple layers, copy paper might not work because it's not going to be able to absorb multiple layers. It will absorb 1 or 2 layers, maybe 3 if they're really thin. So you might have to use papers that are heavier than a copy paper. So that could just be most any type of paper, a multimedia paper or a printing paper. It's just something that has more weight to it than copy paper. Now I use copy paper a lot. I believe this is a piece of printing paper which is essentially like copy paper, and it does not have any more absorbency than the copy paper. So you can use them for practicing just like you would with acrylic paints. The other thing is tissue paper does not work real well because it is so thin that it's hardly absorbent at all. And if you check it out, it's almost like waxed. So the oil can't absorb into it all, and what you'll find is that the ink will just basically rub off of that. There's a little bit of absorption, but it's not good. So here, I think you can see how long I had in between there. I did not rush putting my botanicals down, and I got a really nice print here for my negative. So now I can, by the way, I'm using a DIY plate here. So I've made this plate myself. One thing I've found about my DIY plates is that they do not release the acrylic ink as well, and they actually don't release this Akua ink as well either. And because I am away from home right now, and so I took my commercial gel plate with me, and I can really only get 1 pull from that, but with my DIY plates, I can get 2 to 3 pulls from it. And that's actually ideal for what I want to do, because I want a really subtle background with multiple layers. So that was pull number 2, and if you look, you'll see that there is still ink on that plate. I think I do, yep. I'm going to do a 3rd pull here. What I like to do when I'm doing a botanical is to get as much of the negative ink off so that my positive, and I'm calling my negative these prints right now, and my positive is actually the image of the botanical itself. Everybody has different language for this, but that's my definition. So for these negatives, I like to get as much ink off of the plate as I can. I'll check in between the cracks and crevices of my botanicals to see if most of the ink is gone. Here you can see that I'm pushing more. I want to get more out of the plant that I'm just doing a blank on the name of, down on the bottom of the plate. And so here you can see I've got another pull that has a fair amount of ink on it. But I think that's probably about all that we're going to get out of it. But when you get all of that background ink up, then your positive print is going to be pretty crispy clear. Oh, I'm going to do a fourth pull. I don't think there's going to be anything that comes up on this one really. Now I'm at almost the 6-minute mark. It took about, I think my intro was maybe about 15 seconds, and it took about 30 seconds of time before I put the paper down on the acrylic ink. So say 1 minute. So we're up to about 5 minutes of open time now with this ink. And yes, I did still get something off of the fourth pull. Really, for useful prints though, for what I'm looking for, the second pull and sometimes the third pull are what I like the best. But that's on my DIY plate. On a commercial plate, you're going to be able to pull almost all of the ink off in the first pull. Okay, so that's a really nice print. That's got a lot of detail, and I don't have a lot of chatter, smudging. Let's see how much more we can get. And you can see I'm in absolutely no rush here to find a piece of paper or something that's already pre-printed to get the remainder of this positive print off. Okay, this is a piece of tissue paper. So I do find with my acrylic paints on my DIY plates that the tissue paper really pulls the acrylic paints off quite well. So I think I was probably trying here to see if the tissue paper would pull the rest of the ink up. And you can see that there's a little bit of detail there. And there's a little bit left. I don't think I'm going to do anything with that. I don't remember now. Yep, I'm just going to go ahead and put some more ink down. So we don't use very much ink. I have found that I want a really very thin layer for the work that I'm doing with this currently. But if you put very much ink on, you get what's called a halo effect. I don't know if I show you that in here or not, but I will definitely do another video showing that problem, what happens when you use too much ink. And these layers can be extremely thin, I mean, to the point that you really hardly notice it. And if you look at these two plates here, you'll see that they have color to them. They're not as clear as a commercial plate is. So sometimes you can't see the color quite as well on them. Now another thing you cannot do with Akua Inks is do a print, and then let it dry and then put a pull-off color on it, because this doesn't dry. So basically you can add different color inks like I'm doing here to it. It's going to blend because the ink does not dry. And then you can pull multiple layers, but you have to do each layer separately. You can't put a layer down, let it dry, put another layer down, let it dry, put another pull-off color down, and then pull it. Because like I said, they don't dry, so you just have to do layer by layer individually. arborvitae. That's what that plant down there is. It's a tree. It's not a fern. That one that I just put down is a baby pine tree. The one on the left lower corner is rosemary. And the one at the top upper corner, left corner, is a poinsettia. It has very nice veining. That's why I cut off my poinsettia plant that I have sitting outside this summer. So just like you would do with acrylic paint, you kind of carefully put your paper down on your botanicals, your live botanicals, and make the paper stick to your ink or to your paint, keeping the paper fairly steady until you get it stuck down pretty well. I'm going to pull this off fairly quickly. That was what I called one of my ugly prints. I have no interest really in this layer, so I just used an ugly print piece of paper to pull that off with. And I'm doing a very bad job of showing you the papers before and sometimes even after. When I get really engrossed in doing the printing, I stop thinking about what I need to be doing for my videoing. Whoops. Okay, so what happened here was I needed another background paper, so I'm just using my other gel pad to apply some ink. It looks like this is a combination. There's just some straight yellow. I do think that the Akua inks take a little bit longer to blend over your plates. You know, if I was a printmaker, I would put my ink down on a piece of acrylic or on something. I would take my brayer and I would roll out my ink on the piece of acrylic, and then once my brayer was loaded, then I would run that over the gel pad. So the inks don't seem to blend as well, I don't think, on the plate as they would if you blended them first and then just rolled them out. But they do blend. It just takes a while, and the good thing is you've got the time, because this stays open until you put it on paper. Looks like this might be some rice paper. I've actually had some really interesting things happen with rice paper where it's totally separated on me. But for the most part, I really like printing with the Akua inks on the rice paper. And that was just a background, so you didn't get to see that one. This is going to be a second background. It'll probably be very light. And I'm using the Baron to try and get as much of the paint off of there as possible, because I know that this isn't going to be a very strong background. Okay, so we will pull our plants off and get ready to do our positive print. Okay, so we're approaching the end of this video. I'm going to pull the positive off. I think that there are 3 pulls that I get out of this positive. So the positive, and then what people would call 2 ghost prints. So what I wanted to just leave you with is to look at the length of time that this paint stays open and how easy it is to work with it. I've just really found it interesting. It is a process of learning. It's different from the acrylics, but depending upon what you want, I think it has some real value. So enjoy the rest of this, and we will see you with a few more Akua Ink videos. Have a good evening.
Lost outside of nowhere, a stormy rain tried to wash away the dream.